Today's episode is going to be a little different. I'm not going to talk about a particular topic or even a film. Today, I'm going to tell you a personal story about the weirdest day I ever had. This particular story occurred 5 years ago on tax day. Welcome to Chiaroscuro Horror, a podcast about the complex themes presented in our favorite genre. I'm your host, Nicole, and it's time to share another dark tale. I have been witness to 2 crime scenes in my life, and both happened near water. When I was young, my dad and I drove by Natural Dam in my home state of Arkansas just as they were loading a body bag into the back of an ambulance. That particular watering hole was beautiful, but has been host to quite a few drownings. I always knew this, but seeing them quietly pull a dead body out of the water where I swam as a child was jarring, to say the least. I've never forgotten that incident, and it has always served as a reminder that strange things happen every day in normal places. I can't imagine a more commonly boring place than a shared dumpster in an office park. It's a place someone travels to every day as perhaps the most boring part of their job. Taking out the trash is one of those mundane tasks that requires no thought before, during, or after the task is complete. You toss it in, walk away, and move on with your life. How could a trip to the dumpster possibly change your day? The morning of April 15th, 2014 started like any other day. I got ready and drove to work, arriving about 15 minutes earlier than my coworkers as usual. As I approached the building, I noticed several cop cars, and as I drew closer, I saw bright yellow caution tape circling the little lake next to the deck where we often had lunch. Something had happened. People often fished in the lake or walked by on their way to the neighborhood behind us. It was a bit of a shortcut through the trees. I thought maybe someone had drowned or perhaps even been attacked by an alligator the night before. I parked my car and opened the front door of our office with some apprehension. The moment I walked through the door, my boss rushed up to me and said, "There's been a suicide. We found a body behind the dumpster this morning." We all felt a little numb that day. Our cleaning lady spent most of her day talking to the cops, explaining when she found him, how she found him. It was both incredibly sad and fascinating at the same time. We tried our best to carry on with the day as usual, but it's impossible to ignore the fact that there is a dead body behind your office where you take out the trash at least once a week. In those days, we took turns with kitchen duty, and I can only imagine what it must have felt like to be the unfortunate one to have that particular shift. Our office kitchen had a window that looked out onto the parking lot behind us. The parking lot was empty because the cops had roped off the crime scene. Empty except for one car. The dead man's car. People came and went all day. The police, the coroner, lots of people. There were cop cars, ambulances, and even a fire truck at the end of the ordeal. During all the chaos, the car sat. I never saw the body that day, but I couldn't take my eyes off the car. It made me wonder who the man was and what made him step out of his normal car and end it all in a normal office parking lot. I wonder if he knew that by doing so, the parking lot would never again be normal, at least not for his family and not for my coworkers. As I stood at the window that day, I couldn't help but think back to the time I was witness to the dead body at the dam and the impact it had on my memory. It's called natural dam because the rocks have formed to create beautiful little waterfalls out of a normal stream in rural Arkansas. Even though I never saw the body at the dumpster and I didn't know the man, that one small incident has left a mark on my life. It was the weirdest day I ever had, and I've thought about it quite often over the years. It makes me wonder if people taking out the trash on an ordinary day feel that there is something not quite right about the place. And I wonder if this is what we mean when we say places are haunted. Not by ghosts, but by extraordinary events of the past. How many places do we pass by without knowledge of what might have happened there? Like the sound of a distant stream, sometimes we feel it and sometimes we don't, but it's always there, bubbling up in the background. So the next time you're walking by an ordinary place, a school, a grocery store, a church, and you feel prickles on your neck or like someone is watching you, maybe you should stop and take a moment to pay a little more attention. It's been 5 years, but I still think about the dead man and his car every April 15th. I remember a lot of things about that day, but what I remember most is what it was like after it was all over. After the police and the coroner and the fire truck left, it started to rain. It fell on the dumpster, the car, the parking lot, the whole scene. And the next day, it was like nothing had ever happened. This episode features special artwork by Sunny Balliet. Find out more about her work in the show notes. Follow Chiaroscuro Horror on Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, and at chiaroscurohorror.com. Until next time.